of our readers are single moms who are new to dating, and so dating has changed for these women. They don't really know how to go about reading body language and signals now. Do you have any tips for them?
For reading body language, absolutely. One of the first things you want to do when you're looking at someone else is you want to look for signals of interest. So you want to make sure that they're holding eye contact with you. You want to make sure that their body is pointed towards you. Those are the things that will tell you that they're interested in you. So if they're pointing their body away from you, yet smiling, that's not 100%. But if they're doing both, holding eye contact, pivoting their body towards you, smiling, those are signals of interest that you want to look for when you're finding that somebody you're attracted to might not be attracted to you.
Okay. So a lot of the single parents who maybe aren't dating online, their dating pool is other parents. Are there any tips for sending signals without being so obvious in front of your children?
Sure. I mean, you don't have to be obvious in order. I mean, flirting is natural to us. So really all you have to do is make eye contact and smile. I mean, it's once you get to that first date that you really want to let them know that you're interested in them. So the initial contact could be as simplistic as smiling and making the eye contact. And then when you get out on that date, that's when you really do the flirting. So that's when you touch them, right? That's when you smile. Maybe even at that point, if you're trying to get a little bit more sensual, you touch yourself. And that's really the great thing about wearing Caress Forever collection, because if you've touched him and you've made that connection, now you bring your hand back and you touch yourself, what you're doing is telling him that you're attracted to him. And because when you touch yourself, you release these lovely fragrances from the Caress Forever collection, what'll happen is that scent will linger on for up to 12 hours. And once you do that, you really notice a connection. The two things we found is that touch forms emotional bonds and fragrance forms emotional triggers and connections that give you the memory so that you become almost unforgettable.
Okay. During my interview preparation for today, I read that a heart necklace signals that someone is already taken. Can you elaborate on that finding?
Sure. What I usually tell women who are single is when you want to go out and meet someone, there's this look, if you see my necklace right here, right? You want to wear a necklace that falls right about here in the neck. This is called the suprasternal notch, and this is a very sensual area. So when I was saying earlier, you stroke your neck, this is a great place to do it. You want to wear a necklace that falls around here because it's a vulnerable area, and it's also a sensual area. The reason you want to try to stay away from a heart is because typically a man will see a heart and presume that you're already taken. That's why you're wearing somebody else's heart. So you want to wear anything that resembles small, subtle necklaces without being overbearing, yet at the same time not something that indicates you're already in a romantic relationship.
Okay. The finding from the Caress survey said that men were more likely to use social media and dating sites.
Yes.
Why do you think that might be?
I think it's just because they're pretty much more, women are more touch, right? We want to be out there. We want to be touching and getting to know a man. Men are much more visual. So the first thing they're thinking is, let me see what she looks like. Women aren't thinking along those same lines. We want to connect. We want to have that established rapport. And that's why we're more likely to meet somebody in person as opposed to online.
Can you tell me more about posture?
Sure, posture is really important because if you think about when you see someone, what's the first thing you're thinking? You're thinking, how do they stand? That shows the confidence. So if I'm standing with my shoulders back, that shows I'm more confident and I feel good about myself. In addition to that, the really cool thing about having good posture is it helps to get more oxygen up to the brain. And when you do that, you feel more excited and you're energized. And that also is something that signals attraction and it makes you more attractive.
My final question is do you have any tips for our single dad readers who want to play on the humorous side without being goofy?
Yeah, you know, we talk about how one of the first things women look for is a good sense of humor, and that's true. We like to have men in our lives that have a good sense of humor. One of the best things a man can do without overtly embarrassing himself is to be a little bit self-deprecating. So what does that mean? He gives himself a little dig that he knows is not really a dig, but something that will ingratiate him to the woman he's talking to.
All right. I think that's all the questions I had for you. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you. And if you have any other questions, if you want some other tips, you can go to houseofcaress.com.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.